Steady D. If it ain't going down at the Bunny Ranch, it ain't going down at all.
It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down, going down, going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch. It's going down at the Bunny Ranch. Going down at the Bunny Ranch.
Welcome to the Bunny Ranch Podcast, Season 3 kickoff. That's right. Yeah, we've been gone a little bit since, well, October, actually. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for sticking around 3 whole seasons as we kick this thing off. And we bring you the Bunny of the Year, which is Abigail Rhoads.
Hi.
Welcome back to the show.
Yes, it feels good to be back.
Yeah. So, tell us about what the Bunny of the Year means. So, because people don't know really what that means.
I think that Bunny of the Year, it kind of should be like, I know that this sounds funky, but you know how like Miss America has duties to do after she becomes Miss America? I know that that's like such a funky comparison, but in a sense where it's just, I don't believe that it should just be like, oh my gosh, you did the best and you sold the most and you're the one and here's everything we're going to shower you with. I think it's like, okay, well, what can you do to, further help everybody at the ranch and further help everybody in the community and figure out like, just little things to do that can kind of help out. I think just adding a little bit more purpose to it is my quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always, this is the first Bunny of the Year we've had since we shut down from COVID.
Yeah.
So, because we weren't really open a full year of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
And then 2022, we had that full year, which you got it.
Yeah.
And then now, we have Bunny of the Year, Bunny of the Month. Yeah. The same for the other ranches too. Starlet of the Year, Starlet of the Month,
yeah.
Kitty of the Year, Kitty of the Month. So, it's a huge thing because, yes, it's one girl that's picked for the whole year, it means you exceeded expectations. You exceeded your previous year, exceeded everything over a full year, which is amazing. Kind of like Employee of the Year, essentially Employee of the Month.
But we don't get a parking spot.
No, we don't. Not even I get a parking spot.
Yeah.
But
Some things need to change around here.
Well, yeah, we'll go out there and you'll see maintenance just painting a white line for you.
If he like gets our name painted on it, that'd be nice.
But then it would draw attention and it'd go against your privacy to have your name on a parking spot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which would be the downside,
We'll put your name.
Yeah, it's fine. But a lot of things have happened this last year since we last talked. Because we talked, somewhere in season 2. Yeah, it was a while ago. I think, probably middle of the year.
Yeah.
So what has gone on since then? Obviously, you've done crazy and done great with what you've done with your business. But what brought that? What added to that? What did you do?
I had a long time self-isolation. And sometimes you need a period of self-isolation.
Okay.
In order to kind of compartmentalize everything in your life that's going on. And I know that the new year was coming for me. So I felt like the new year was coming. And I was like, you know what am I going to do different? Like, how am I going to get ready for the rest of my life kind of thing?
Yeah.
And so I really took the time in January to just dismantle everything in my life. I literally, it's almost like I went through the closet of my life and ripped everything out of the closet. What am I keeping? What am I getting rid of? And what do I want new in my life? And I wanted to make sure that, I just turned 30.
Yeah.
And, I was fun, like in my 20s and everything, but I want to make sure that my life is super filled with purpose. And that's one of my main goals. And I decided that with my music project that I was working, or that I'm still working on, I realized that it wasn't actually a regular album, is what I thought. It's actually designed in the way that the music is being sung and everything. It's actually kind of rock opera style.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been watching like a lot of documentaries, and obviously I saw Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Yeah.
That one. But I've told my manager since then that I'm going to turn it into a rock opera. And I gonna see where that takes me. But I didn't know that I was gonna do all of that until just took that time to just dismantle everything. Like, okay, like what will lead me to purpose in this lifetime? And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's one of my things I've been doing. A lot of changes.
Yeah, interesting analogy though. You know, you went in your closet and tore everything
You have to
and
sometimes.
decided what you're keeping. I mean, it's kind of like spring cleaning, but you did it in January.
And yeah.
So that's kind of a really cool realization right there.
It is too, because, I do modeling and I do the social media modeling and everything. But you know what I also thought was I started a music reaction channel it could be anybody. I don't charge for music reactions, but it could be anyone. And I remember that as a model, I would just put music behind all of my videos.
Yeah.
I'd put like old rock songs I liked and everything. It's funny, I have a whole playlist of everyone's music. That seems to be like, I'll walk into a room and I'll like do my makeup or something and I'll be singing their songs. And it's like, so it really goes to show you what you know. What you see is what you know. And it's funny because I've only listened to the playlist that I've gotten of new artists. I've only listened to that, and I just haven't listened to the radio. So it's like, wow, I'm like singing their lyrics. I'm like, that's all I know.
I mean, because especially if you really vibe and enjoy that type of like that song and that like tone of that music, that is exactly because it's going to stick with you, because there's tons of songs, especially even like mainstream songs or even songs or other like music just from not mainstream, just independent
boutique
artists.
Indie boutique. And so what I'm thinking that music, because right now they say 100,000 songs are uploaded on Spotify every single day. So many people are putting out music. They want to be heard. They have great songs. And I'm just thinking like, wow, like, look at all this, like all this new stuff. I feel like music is going to become, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about the adult industry on there.
You can talk about it.
So
as long as we don't demonstrate things. Yeah, you're fine.
In the adult industry, there's mainstream adults and adult workers. And then there is amateurs. And amateurs are very popular. And then we look at it, there is pro football, then there's college. And I feel like up and coming indie artists are going to be like, it's going to be the new college radio. Like you go to the college one first, then you grab, go up from there. That's what I think, because there's so many people now. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense too. So let's backtrack back to your music though. Like what's going on there? Because you kind of hinted at it like last year when we talked about it, and then now you've kind of embraced all of your stuff together now.
Yes, I have.
So, which is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So what brought that? Like, obviously you said, you got to do all that, because we talked a little bit right before we started, but what went through your mind when you were thinking about it? And then what also like tell us about that. Like what is it? Like, who is it?
So my album that I'm currently creating is called Rose Colored Worlds.
Okay.
And pretty much it's about seeing the world through a new lens. I feel like, I take everything in my life as it comes.
Yeah.
And I noticed that after my incident, I needed to change things in my life, and I needed to see the world in a different way in order to thrive and not just like survive. And so I started looking at the things in my life and being like, okay, if I can't do this anymore, what can I do? What is another way that I can do this? What is a possibility? And so Rose Colored World is about seeing your world through completely rose-colored lenses and just embracing the beauty of that. Embracing like the little luxuries of every day, like getting a Red Bull or your coffee, like, kind of stuff like that. The concept album, it starts off as just a very adventurous soul that gets into the art industry.
Okay.
They didn't realize that there was a difference between art and entertainment. But that's generally gatekept. So that, until you find it out and discover. But this character protagonist, they don't like that everything is gatekept. They don't like it, and they feel like they had to like fight for everything in their world. And so I can't give away the whole concept,
No,
but
yeah.
but there is a little spooky factor that comes in. There's a little mystery that happens. There is this striving to get somewhere, and then there is this point where this person becomes that person. They become the entertainer of their dreams, but they didn't realize the world that they create, like they created that world themselves. And so yeah, I really hope that one day I could get a small like little theater rented, and like I still have long ways to go, but I would love to like build like a little set, and just obviously like I wouldn't be acting in it because
Yeah.
it would just but but it would be amazing. So that's as much as I can
Yeah.
delve into.
Yeah, you can't give away all the secrets because you have
Yeah.
to. That makes it so they have to go see it.
Yeah, and there is mystery involved. There's folklore. There's just really fun. I don't know, just a colorful. I wanted all colors, like, and that's where like for my videos now I wanted colorful everything.
Yeah, vibrant colors.
Yeah.
I mean, humans love seeing vibrant colors.
Yeah, and
'Cause it makes you feel better.
it does, and I want everything to be like I got my inspiration for this when I went and saw the Michael Jackson show in Las Vegas. There's
Okay.
like this Michael Jackson show, and I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
But I remember when I went to that show, I was going through a really hard time in my life, and I was just so like in despair. But then when I went to that show, saw the lights, the colors, I left that show feeling like a new person, and just seeing how families were there enjoying themselves. People like this was a part of their day.
Oh.
And I'm like, man, how cool would it be to say that my show was a part of their day? That's so awesome too.
Oh, that. Yeah, definitely. I
Like-
mean, because you're
You're part of someone's day.
Yeah, you're
their plans.
you're a section of their life at that point because you're even if it's
Yes.
like an hour, 2 hours, or
Mhm.
15 minutes, you're still that you're in someone's life for that amount of time, and that truly is a really good goal because you doesn't matter if it's a billion people, million people,
Yeah.
you're still sharing that experience and memory with all of them.
Exactly. And that's where I remember when I was a little kid, when I was really young, my first play that I ever saw was Alice in Wonderland. And
Okay.
I just went with the school. Like, you just go with the school.
Yeah.
So I went, and I thought, oh God, this is boring. Like I just thought that 'cause
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was a kid. I didn't know. But then I go, and there was literally like raining flowers from the
Yeah.
theater, and
Yeah.
raining flowers. There was colorful everything. Just remember how magical it felt. No, I got to do it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, seeing like your art form, everything truly come to life. That is truly what an artist's like dream is.
Yeah.
Because you can see like the sparkle in someone else's eye, like
Mhm.
when they see your actual everything come to them and hit them at once.
Mhm.
Because it creates that whole emotional bond with you and the person, even though they might not know it. I'm
Mhm.
like, you definitely feel it because if everyone loves it, you're feeling it, and you're seeing it, and
Exactly.
and you put your heart and soul into that. So
And that's what I'm excited about. So it's a ways away, but it's coming.
definitely, I mean, well, what other goals do you got for that? Not just like that project, but just in general, like with music industry, with this as well. Like, what goals do you have overall? Because you guys all have like a full like goal, an end goal.
Mine right now is education in 2 areas. So
Okay.
I'm saving up currently so I can do this. It's a spiritual, sexual healing. I don't want to say university. It's
Kind of like
not
a retreat or
kind of,
Okay.
but it's a 26-week course,
Oh,
and
okay.
on spiritual, sexual healing, and sexual shamanism.
Hmm.
And I am very interested in sexual healing because I believe that I was a big fan of Psalm Isadora, who she's passed on, but she was a sexual healer.
okay.
And sex relates to every area of our life. It relates to money. It relates to how we feel about ourselves. And I'm discovering that part of myself right now in a sense. I think that everyone has the colors. It's just, it's one thing to study, like, like I do in my room and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
another thing to take a course and to actually learn, which is what I want to do. I want to do that, saving for that. And then also going to be doing media training classes because I got to practice for the show and everything. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. And I want to learn. I didn't realize there is a difference between art and entertainment.
Yep.
Big difference. And one of the differences, an artist, which I thought I was. An artist goes, like, they'd sing into this mic and they would say, all right, well, you get what you get. That's what you get from me. But an entertainer's like, oh, did I do that right? I don't know. Like, maybe I should do that again. Like, you're more conscious about what the audience is like, how they're going to receive it.
Okay.
But the artist is like, get what you get. But so there are some things that people get what they get. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's got to be a balance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So any other big goals at all? Like, because I know you talked about a couple of things beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about even like maybe even having your own like, kind of like a building or a stage or.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, I would love to learn how or get in contact with people. Like for the show, I would, oh, forgive me, for the theatrical show and the theatrical album Rose World. I would like to learn how to connect with set builders, like people who build sets, people who know how to do that. I would probably, before I even venture off in looking for the set builders, I would probably actually go to Broadway and watch a few different shows. I would go to New York and I would watch a few different shows, see how they do it. I've seen Phantom of the Opera.
It's a beautiful show. I've seen it once too.
And yeah.
I've only seen the Vegas version, which is a little bit, it is a shortened version of
Condensed.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Anything in Vegas or Nevada in general,
Mm-hmm.
you have 90 minutes. That's total of all shows in
Yeah.
Nevada. If you ever realize it, 60 to 90 minutes, they never exceed 90 minutes.
Really?
Because humans' attention span, especially on vacation, hour and a half.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah, hour and
So
a half.
Phantom of the Opera is, I don't remember if they're fully 90 minutes, but I do remember it is much more condensed than actual New York Broadway.
Wow. It's just nice to absorb everybody else's creations for.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if you constantly do the exact same thing over and over, your content, no matter what you do, whether it's just photos, painting,
it's gonna have the same vibe.
shows, you're gonna get stale. You're gonna lose any audience you did have, and then you're not gonna pick up any new audience.
Yeah,
because you don't have newer type of ideas.
Oh yeah, and I also am learning. There's a theory. I'm just reading stuff on my free time, but there's a theory of clothing, in a sense where if you are wearing older clothing a lot, the objects carry energy, and the clothing is carrying energy. So, for instance, let's say I had the worst day of my life in this dress. Let's say it was the worst day of my life. My new reaction, I'm actually going to get rid of the item because it's somebody else's, turn to have it. But also not in a sense where it's being like superstitious in a sense, but it's every time I look at myself in the dress, I think of the bad day. Okay. And it's more of a psychological thing than like, oh my gosh, it's bad, it's taboo. It's like, so if something, negative happens to you in a certain, outfit, it's like, as much as you don't want to get rid of it, it might be beneficial, like kind of.
Yeah,
so
not mainly
to get
like
new
actual
energy.
Basically just bad
to
vibes.
Not see
it's
yourself,
just your mental state.
Exactly, to not see yourself in, and that's another reason why I got a different cane, because I remember when I ordered a new one, by the way. It's a clear cane, and I want to do a shoot by the beach. Oh, and I got a bamboo cane because summer I'm going tropical.
Okay.
I got bikinis and I got a bamboo cane, so going tropical.
Good.
So pretty much, I remember when I got out of the hospital, I had my regular cane.
Yeah.
I got from like Rite Aid or the hospital, I don't know, somewhere. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, this isn't like, I don't like what it's not that I don't think it's bad. It's just I didn't feel like myself. So I was like, I have to get something different, like
Okay.
just to change, see if I have different energy. This gives me so much, like, oh, I feel like $1 billion. Like,
Yeah. I feel that. I've had that several times where, you have that one item and you've kept it forever.
Mhm.
Like, and it reminds you of something and you remember some good times. And then there's always like, whether it's a breakup or whether it's
Yeah.
like just some kind of traumatic thing or or even just
Mhm.
something mentally might've been not good, but
Mhm.
it really didn't do anything to you. It was just, you
Yeah.
just saw it like, oh, I got a car accident that day.
And I was
I was wearing that sweatshirt.
It's because
And it's still sitting in my closet, and I look at it, I'm like, oh. And then you put it away.
Yes.
But you've never gotten rid of it, And yeah, sometimes, especially all humans I've seen, where it takes a while to get rid of something you really like. It might have been your favorite thing, and
it could be like Gucci or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it might have been your favorite
Yeah.
sweatshirt or favorite shoes or whatever for years.
Oh, yeah.
And then now it just sits there as a reminder of something that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to get over that stuff. And
It is.
sometimes you just have to, it's like pulling a Band-Aid. You pull it right off.
Mhm.
You have to do it. And that same with the cane, all that stuff you're talking about, it kind of makes a lot of sense right there.
One of my friends, it was so funny. They're an artist in LA, and they were talking about how one day they walked out of a restaurant and they saw a brand new Louis Vuitton bag in the trash. Like in the trash, it was brand new, and it had the box and the bag and everything.
Yeah.
And he looked and he couldn't believe it. He was like, and then this lady was like really well dressed, standing right next to the trash can. Like, is that yours? She's like, oh yeah, you can have it. My ex gave it to me and I don't want it. And I'm like, wow. Like, and was like, I don't care if it's Prada. I don't care if it's Gucci. I'm throwing it in the trash because I do not want that. And he took it and she's like, have it.
Yeah.
He took it and used it for his something.
No, I mean, because one of my exes that happened too. I mean, I got rid of almost every single thing that like
Reminds.
he got me or I got them. And at that
Yeah.
point I'm like, done. And I just like, I was like, I'm going to go return this since it was Christmas time. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to return all these Christmas presents. I'm going on vacation with all this money.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
like, I was like, I'm done. Like
yes,
it makes more sense back then. So, and now,
does.
I mean, and yeah.
The powerful energy, the power of energy and effect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about like your BunnyRanch goals right now? Like, because we're getting towards the end of the show.
Yes.
So, and I want to kind of tie it in there. Like, what kind of goals because we've heard all the other goals, and you have some
Yes.
amazing goals, by the way. One of the first Broadway shows I actually saw was The Producers.
Oh, really? I like that
which
one.
is a Mel Brooks show. I saw it in Las Vegas actually,
nice.
but I've seen a lot of shows in Vegas.
Wasn't the guy in The Music Man in that?
Oh,
What's his Matthew Broderick?
Yep. The original in the movie, it was Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane.
I always
Yep.
liked
and Will Ferrell's in it as well,
Yes.
along with oh God, what's her name? The Uma Thurman.
Uma
Super
Thurman.
tall. So amazing show. But
Wow.
but moving on to what your BunnyRanch goals are, like what is your goal for this year, and what is your goal for in general right now?
To have more vacations with the people who come. Like, I want to make sure that everyone just has an awesome vacation with me. Like, before, I think that I was really focused on personal connection alone. But then I was like, wait a second. What's personal connection and a vacation combined together? That's even better. So it's like, I want to make sure I plan out things. I want to make sure that I have, I don't know, like I love travel. And so if travel is in my cards, that would be amazing. I want to be someone's vacation. I want to be that person that just kind of takes their element.
Yeah.
They can just enjoy themselves, obviously romantically, but also energetically, just doing new things together.
No, and that's a great thing. I mean, especially because Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
So I mean, that is the perfect romantic time. And like we're only a flight to Las Vegas. It's super easy. We're right near Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe.
We're right near Reno. I mean, you have all these areas you can really go and have a beautiful romantic time, especially like Lake Tahoe. During this time of year, it's a little snowy, but it's still nice because it's beautiful outside. Like right now, it's a little warm. But it's really nice because you can sit there and have a full romantic time. Like there's different little dinner and lunch cruises. Vegas, there's tons of stuff in Las Vegas, and even Reno, there's tons of stuff. So I mean, that could be some really good romantic times.
Perfect. I love vacations. I love like going out to dinner, just having a nice romantic time, vacation, and then just like all the sexy time.
What kind of dinner? Like what would be that perfect, like ideal, like kind of dinner for like a romantic date?
I don't know. It's probably like crab somewhere. I love seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe like a vegetarian restaurant. But there's always something on the menu.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I
I guess I'm not technically a vegetarian if I eat crab. Pescatarian.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. I mean, yeah, I do like a good lobster. I love lobster. Crab, once in a while, I like it. It has to be in that mood.
Yeah.
I do like crab. It's just not every, growing up, my mom and my little brother loved it.
Yeah.
I just can't, it just, every time they want it, and I'm like, I love the lobster.
I never got into crawfish. My family,
Okay.
some of them are from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I never super got into crawfish because I'm like, looks like a creature. Like I don't I don't want it to have its head and eyeballs. I just want it like to have a little piece. And so that's the only thing I
No, when I went to Florida once, they give you the full
Oh,
crab
the
with
snow-
everything, and I'm like, I don't want to see my food's head.
I
I'm
don't.
like, cut it off.
Isn't there something crazy about
Yeah,
that? Like,
I'm like, I don't want to see that.
it's like this guilt that like comes over you. It's like, oh, like, or
Yeah.
I remember the snow crab sandwich. It literally looked like a tarantula in a sandwich. I can't with snow crab. I can do it in a sushi, but I literally opened it up and I was like, I don't know the difference.
Exactly. Well, Abigail, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show, especially the good kickoff to season 3.
Yes.
So with that, guys, make sure you guys do email her. Her email is going to be right below it, so that way we don't even have to keep spelling it out for you. But go ahead and say it once, so that way they can actually hear it.
It's Abigail Rhoads at BunnyRanch.com.
Perfect. And then, guys, make sure, especially because Valentine's Day, all these beautiful dates are coming up. Like, this is the beginning of the year. You can plan it now. You can go have fun. Go enjoy a nice getaway to Las Vegas or Tahoe or Reno, or even just come visit us.
We'll go exploring.
Because there's plenty of stuff out here. Make sure you guys do follow on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, YouTube. If you're only listening, you'll be able to see the video and see how beautiful she is. So we'll be back next week. Welcome to season 3. I'm James. Thank you for coming today. Bye.